Greetings, boys and girls. Today's video is intended to be a review of whole number place value. Well, let's get started with our first question. So you are given the following number, and the 3 is underlined. And the first question is, what place is the underlined digit in? Well, one thing I can use is, if I can't remember my patterns, I can use my place value chart to help me remember. So in the first period, I have my units period, and you have your ones, tens, hundreds. And then the next period is the thousands, so everything ends with the name thousand. So you have thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Then we get into the millions period, and so we have the millions, then the 10 millions, and then the 100 millions. Finally, there's the billions. And it looks like our 3 is right here in the millions period, and it is in the 10 millions place. So when it asks what place is it in, we're looking for the word, and the place name is the 10 millions place. So that's what you would be writing on the first blank. Go ahead and take a moment to jot that down. All right, in our next question, they ask us, what is the value of that digit? So how much is a 3 in the 10 millions place worth? Well, to do this, I'm going to write my 3 on my place value chart, and then every digit after that, to the right of that, I'm making zeros, because this is going to tell me the value of something in the 10 millions place. Putting my commas. And so a 3 in the 10 millions place is worth 30 million. And it looks just like 3 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros after it. So 30 million is what we would have written down for number 2. Okay, take a moment and get that down on your paper as well. The next question asked us, what would 10 times the value of the underlined digit be? So right now, I have a 3 in the 10 millions place. They're asking us for 10 times as much. So I would just imagine that my 3 moves over one place value to the left, because it's 10 times as much. I know that the 100 millions place is 10 times greater than the 10 millions place. So I'd put my 3 here, and then I would simply add my zeros to the right of it. I can add my commas. So 10 times the value of a 3 in the 10 millions place is going to be worth 300 million, which is a massive number. Now, another thing I could have kept in mind is I could have thought of 30 million, multiplying it by 10 is simply, we have a little song, multiply by 10, add a 0 to the end. So I can imagine taking my 30 million and then simply adding a 0. Oh, wait a second. My commas are going to move when I do that. But I can take my 30 million and add a 0 to the end. Okay? So then, ones, tens, hundreds, comma, ones, tens, hundreds, comma. I simply added a 0 to the end. All right, I'm giving you an opportunity to get that down. Okay, our next question asks us, they're asking, if the underlined digit moved one place to the right, what would its value be? So I'm here in the 10 millions place, and I'm imagining that the 3 moves over one place to the right. So the 3 would now be in the millions place. and they're asking what would the value of this digit be now. So I simply moved my 3 over here, and now I'm adding my zeros after it, and my value would simply be 3 million. And this is the same thing as saying 3 million is 1/10 of 10 million, because it moved one place to the right. Okay, our value got smaller. Okay, go ahead and take a moment and make sure you jot that down. Okay, we're going to move on to the next set of questions, the next 3 questions. We are given this number, 4,608,163. The first thing they ask us to do is to write this number in expanded form. When I get ready to write it in expanded form, I want to think about the value of each digit, because I'm going to write the value of each digit, but I'm going to separate it by a plus sign. So each value is going to be separated by a plus sign. So let's use our place value chart again. And I'm going to write underneath my chart. So I have a 4 in the millions place. So I'm going to write 4 million. Then I'm going to add that to a 6 in the hundred thousands place, which is 600,000. I'm adding that to, I have nothing in the 10,000s place, so I can skip that. But I have an 8 in the thousands place. So I'm adding that to 8,000. I'm going to add that to 100. I will add that to 60. And then I'm adding finally 3. Because the 6 in the tens place was 60, 3 in the ones place is simply worth 3. So this is how I write the number in expanded form. Again, I wrote the value of each digit and I separated it by a plus sign. Take a moment to jot that down if you haven't already. If you still need more time to write, go ahead and press pause on the video right now. Okay, we are going to look at question 6, which asks us to write the number above in word form. Now when I do that, notice that my chart is color-coded. So I have my millions period. This is the last name I'm going to say here. Then I have my thousands period in pink. And then my ones period is in light blue. So when I get ready to write this number, I can read the digits in each, I can read the number of each period and then say the period's name afterwards. Now when I get to the last period, I don't have to say ones. Okay? So let's look at it. In the millions period, I only have 4. So I'm going to simply write 4, last name, million. Now you wouldn't have million capitalized. I'm just using a stylus and an iPad. Okay, now the next thing I see is I see 608. So I'm going to simply say the next things in the thousands period, and then I will say the last name of thousands. So I will say 608,000. Comma. And now I'm going to say the last bit, which is in the ones period, but I don't have to end it with the word ones. And that is simply 163. 160-3. So that is how I would write that in word form. And I'm sorry if my handwriting looks a little hard to read with my stylus, but that is how we'd write it in word form. Go ahead and take a moment to jot this down on your paper. All right, if you need more time, please press pause on this video. For our seventh question, it asks us, what would 10 times the number above be? So I have 4,608,163, and they're asking me, what would it be if I multiplied this whole number by 10? Well, anytime I multiply a whole number by 10, all I have to do is add a 0 to the end. Now, it's not the same thing with decimals, but right now we're talking about whole numbers, so it's fine. Again, our song says, multiply by 10, add a 0 to the end. Now, I added a 0 to the end, but guess what? My commas right now look really, really confusing. So I'm going to rewrite this number and then reinsert my commas. So I go ones, tens, hundreds, comma, ones, tens, hundreds, comma. So my new number is 46,081,630. Okay, so this again would be my final answer for that. Do make sure you put your commas in the right place, because otherwise no one will know what number that you're writing. Okay, let's move on to the next question. On number 8, they ask us to order the following numbers from least to greatest. So what I want to do is I want to take the three numbers I have, 6,551,111, then 6,540,164, and then 6,547,894. And I want to build them in a chart, or at least stack them on top of each other so I can compare the place values. So the largest place value in my first number is the millions. So I have 6,551,111. And then I have 6,540,164. And finally I have 6,547,894. Now, I always encourage my fourth graders to stack the numbers up, because if you try to eyeball them, there are 7 digits in each of these numbers, and it's going to be easy to not keep up with the place value. So I like to stack the numbers on top, and then I start at my largest place value, and I compare. Now, in these three numbers, the largest place value is the millions place. And I compare, and guess what? They all have the exact same number, a 6. So I can't say right now that one is larger or one is smaller. So then I move to the hundred thousands place. And I notice the same thing. They all have 5s. So I can't tell you which is larger and which is smaller. So I now move to the 10,000s place. Okay? And I look, and I have a 5 in the top number, and then 4s in the bottom numbers. So that tells me that 6,551,111 is going to be the largest. Remember, I'm ordering from least to greatest. So I can already write my 6,551,111 as the largest number. So now it's between these two. I have 4s in the 10,000s place. So they're still the same now. So now I'm looking at just these two, and I'm going to move to the thousands place. And I'm going to see which digit is larger. I have a 0 and a 7. Well, the 7 is larger. Therefore, 6,547,894 would be the second largest number. So I would write that in the middle. 6,547,894. And since I've rolled that one out, I know that the least number, the smallest number, is my 6,540,164. So go ahead and jot that down. If you still need time, press pause on our video. Otherwise, let's move on to number 9. Okay, so we're comparing two numbers. The first number is 390,040. We're comparing that to 9,040. Now, I really like to stack my numbers up and put them correctly in the place value chart. So I'm going to go ahead and place my numbers in here. So that's my first number. My second number is 9,040. Now, it is really important to make sure you stack up the numbers and put like place values on top of each other. So I have my ones that are lined up, my tens are lined up, my hundreds are lined up, because I'm going to show you this number, it's clear one of them is much larger than the other because they have digits in the hundred thousands place. However, if I didn't stack my numbers up, it would actually look like 9,040. And someone might say this number is larger. And that's because my ones are in the hundreds place. Okay, so it's really important that we stack our numbers up so that we can compare them correctly. Okay, I started at my largest place value, and that's the hundred thousands place. Only the top number has a digit there, so therefore it's automatically larger, and I can simply write 390,040 is greater than 9,040. Okay, looking at the next one, it says that we're comparing 12 10,000s and 1 million. So one thing I need to keep in mind, the 10,000s place. Look at it. If I have a digit in the 10,000s place, everything else is going to be a 0. But I have 12 of these. I could only put one digit in the 10,000s place. Once I get to 10 of that thing, it moves to the next place value. So I can imagine writing it like this, 12 with the 4 zeros at the end. So that's no longer 12 10,000s. We would typically say it as 120,000. Okay, it really is 12 10,000s, but again, if I was trying to compare something, I'd want to use it in the correct way we say the place values. So I'm comparing 120,000 to 1 million. Okay? Yet again, once I stack these up, I can look at my largest place value. The bottom number has something in the millions. Therefore, this is going to be greater. Okay? So I would simply write 12 10,000s are less than, because they're smaller than, 1 million. All right, the final thing that we are going to do is we're going to rename numbers. We want to write each answer in standard form. Okay, so we have 16 tens. So I'm thinking of putting a digit here, but it says 16. Again, I can only put one digit here. Once I get to 10 tens, I'm now talking about 100. So I can simply write 16 tens. 16 tens is going to be equal to 160. Okay, let's look at 450 thousands. So the thousands place is here, but I can only fit one digit here. So now when I'm writing 450, I am moving it over 450, and then I'm putting my zeros for the thousands place. Okay? 450,000 is the same thing as 450 thousands. Okay, and then for our last one, we have 608 10,000s. Where's the 10,000ths place? It's right here, but I can only put one digit there. So therefore, I'm writing 608 in these, and then I'm going to add my placeholder zeros, and that is 608 10,000ths. So I put my commas, comma, comma. So it's really 6,080,000, and that's it. All right. I hope that made sense. In this video, we simply reviewed some of the place value concepts that we have talked about earlier this week and last week. So make sure that you use your place value charts and keep thinking about the patterns, because there's a lot of patterns in the place value charts, and that will definitely help you understand the value of digits in very, very large numbers. Until we meet again, take care.